So the playoffs are currently happening right now. The Rangers are not in it. It's like while everyone's fighting in the playoffs, the Rangers have a lot of big decisions to figure out. So after a disastrous season, like the worst season in history, it's like there were many big steps to take in order to rebound next season. One is extending Will Cooley. They should also extend Zach Jones, Adam Edstrom, and Matt Rempe, but extending Will Cooley is should be the top priority in free agency. The second is like getting rid of massive liabilities. Like you gotta get rid of Keandre Miller, let him walk in free agency. I would say it's a Zibanejad as well, but doesn't look like it's happening. Or is it? And another one is giving us a new coach, a new GM. Unfortunately, Chris Drury got extended despite this awful season, but we were able to get coaching changes and stuff. It's like Laviolette went from having us win the President's Trophy and going to the Eastern Conference Finals to not even making the playoffs the next season. It's like his time was short-lived, and he made stupid decisions, and it was justified for him to go. And Phil Housley would get fired as well. Meanwhile, Mark Parrish and Dan Muse are still going to be around as assistant coaches. So, but we already got one thing done quickly. We already got a terrible coach fired. So now it is time for us to find a new coach to go for. It's like there were many options. It's like there was like Rick Tocchet, John Tortorella, Joe Quenneville, and even down as to David Carl. You know, the guy that helped the USA win back-to-back gold medals. So the Rangers look, and shortly after Laviolette got fired, they made a decision quickly. On May 2nd, 2025, the Rangers got a coach. And it's not just any coach, and it's not just a successful coach, but also a familiar face. Not only as a player, but as part of a coaching staff for the Rangers. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Sullivan is once again a Ranger! Mike Sullivan is now the new head coach of the New York Rangers. It's like this was a coach the Rangers were looking for a long time, and now they have found their guy. This is a really good coach for the Rangers. In fact, the Rangers is where he started his career as a player, as he was selected 69th overall for the Rangers in the 1987 NHL draft. I mean, his playing career was pretty decent. He never played with the Rangers, but he got drafted. He would then start his career with the San Jose Sharks for several years, and then he went to Calgary Flames. Then he spent one season with the Boston Bruins and finished off with the Phoenix Coyotes, who are now the Utah Mammoth. And I said Mammoth, not the Utah Hockey Club, but the Utah Mammoth. I mean, it was pretty decent, as the best season that he got as a player was in the 95-96 season, where he scored 9 goals, 12 assists, and 21 points in 81 games. Very decent. But the season before that, he did good in the playoffs as he scored 3 goals, 5 assists, and 8 points in 7 playoff games while losing to the Sharks. So he had a decent playing career, but his coaching career, it's a different story. It's like it started in 2002 when he was the head coach of the Providence Bruins of the AHL. And his team had a 41-17-9-4 record. Of course, they would lose in the first round, but they have still a strong season as they finished first in the North. And it was so good that that the Bruins decided to promote him as the head coach for the Bruins. He was only there for 2 seasons. The first, somewhat a success, as the Bruins finished second in the East, but lose to the Montreal Canadiens in the first round. And that so happens to be the NHL rookie season of Patrice Bergeron. After that, Sullivan would serve as an assistant coach of the U.S. Olympic hockey team at the 2006 Winter Olympics, where the United States would finish second, losing to Germany. And then in 2007, Mike Sullivan was named an assistant coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning, serving under John Tortorella. He would then be promoted to as associate coach in the next season. And then, in 2009, he would reunite with John Tortorella again as an assistant coach of the New York Rangers. So yes, and he would serve that position until Tortorella left in 2013. So pretty much when I started my Rangers career, we had John Tortorella and Mike Sullivan behind the bench. He would leave the Rangers, but he didn't leave John Tortorella's side, as they both went to the Vancouver Canucks in 2013. Like, during that season, Sullivan was named an interim head coach for the Canucks when John Tortorella served a 6-game suspension for his infamous altercation against the Calgary Flames, which is fun to watch. And in his first game as acting head coach, the Canucks would go on to record a 2-1 victory over the Oilers, which is interesting. But of course it wasn't enough, as both Tortorella and Sullivan got fired. So after that, Mike Sullivan would join the Chicago Blackhawks as a player development coach for a season. I mean, nothing special that season. I mean, the Chicago Blackhawks, after all, won a Stanley Cup, which was the last time they ever won a Stanley Cup. And no, it is not the infamous Stanley Cup run that involves abusing Kyle Beach. It's not that one. Thank God it's not that one. Wait, Joe Quenneville is now the head coach for the Anaheim Ducks. So after that, Mike Sullivan would join the Pittsburgh Penguins in the minors. I mean, like, he did well in the minors, as in just 23 games. The Wilkes-Barre Penguins got 18 wins, 5 losses, and 41 points in 23 games, which is really good. So good that in the middle of that season, the Penguins fired Mike Johnston and promoted Mike Sullivan as the head coach. And that was where he really took off, because Mike Sullivan would be the guy responsible for helping the Pittsburgh Penguins win back-to-back Stanley Cups. Sullivan would become the 6th head coach in NHL history to win the Stanley Cup after being hired mid-season. And he would be the 3rd coach in franchise history to win the Stanley Cup following a mid-season coaching change. And the 1st coach to lead the Penguins to back-to-back cups, and is the only American-born head coach to win the Stanley Cup more than once, which was insane. Then he recorded his 100th win a season after that, the fourth coach to do it for the Penguins. Sure, they're not winning the cup anymore and they're slightly in decline, but he's still doing good, especially in 2021, where he became the winningest coach in Penguins history, surpassing Dan Bylsma's record of 253 wins for the Penguins. But he has done more outside the NHL as well. As I mentioned, Sullivan would be named head coach of the United States men's national ice hockey team for the 2022 Winter Olympics. But with the NHL withdrawn from the Olympics due to a COVID surge, he would be replaced by David Quinn. And USA would lose to Slovakia in the quarterfinals that time, as Finland would win the gold medal. Whether or not USA would have won gold had Mike Sullivan coached the team, we'll never know. But he would also coach the United States again in the Four Nations face-off, losing in the finals to Canada. And I feel like USA could have won if they didn't make David Quinn an assistant coach. Like you couldn't use John Hines, Phil Housley, or even David Carl. But still good. But after 10 years, after the Penguins constantly missed the playoffs, they finally let Mike Sullivan part ways. And ever since, the Rangers went after him. They made this deal that if Sullivan were to leave the Penguins, that they would pursue him. And now they have. Mike Sullivan's the new head coach for the Rangers. And this is going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting. The only question now is who will take Phil Housley's spot. Still yet to be determined. But maybe we can have Rick Tocchet as the assistant coach for the Rangers. Please. Okay, so we pretty much got one thing out of the way. It's like checklists and all that stuff. It's like we got rid of an inconsistent coach and replaced him with an even better coach. It's like you could argue about how we did with the Penguins the last few seasons, but he was just with the Penguins for a long time. Like maybe a new team will be the change that he needs to return to his form. Like I'm not asking to help us win back-to-back Stanley Cups, but I expect greatness out of that. Okay, so we pretty much got one thing done. Looks like Drury has finally figured things out. Hopefully the rest of the moves made in the off-season work out well. God damn it, Drury.
The Penguins on the bench right now are like 8-year-old kids.
That's all right.
That's awesome.
They're waiting for they're all like the 8th grade picnic. Drop of the puck, Vlasic shooting it. Knocked down, Crosby's got it, play it up. 4 seconds to go, the Penguins have jumped over the boards. It sails down to the Sharks end, short-handed. It's over. Get in the fast lane, Grandma. The bingo game is ready to roll. The 2016 Stanley Cup champions, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
What an effort for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Gloves,
blocking shots, you name it. They did it all here tonight.
Gloves and sticks everywhere, and the Penguins in. They mob Matt Murray, the goaltender. The Penguins, to a man, have joined in a big circle, hugging one another. What an unbelievable moment here for the Pens and the Sharks. A valiant effort here in this game to try and get back and save the season. But the Penguins were too much. They win the series 4-2, and they mob one another. The hugs continue. For these players, something that they will never, ever forget. And the bond between them all is something that you have to experience to really understand how this will carry the rest of their lives.